The Halswell, Hornby, Riccarton Community Board. Mike, welcome.
Good morning, Leanne and councillors. Gives me great pleasure to present our community board report to you this morning, and I will take it that you've read it and understand it, no doubt. I'll just touch on some aspects of it if that's okay. We have the one part A, which is already in progress anyway. It's been through the system. It's just letting you know, remind you that it was considered on the 22nd of March this year. Significant projects. Hope Presbyterian Church, we gave them some off the ground funds to help with the clean up at Gilberthorpe School. So and the community board provided funding for the Dean's Ave Precinct Society towards an affair that's some wonderful artwork done in the Brockworth walkway off Riccarton Road.
But the chief executive tells me that's her old school.
Sorry?
Gilberthorpe, it's the chief executive's old school.
Mm-hmm. Chief executive, sorry?
Where the chief executive went to school.
Oh, okay. Oh.
Still some of her artwork there.
You didn't carve anything in the trees there, Charlie. But no, it's something that the local community there have got a lot of pride in that area, and they do keep it well maintained, and I'm just pleased that we could help them to engage some wonderful artists to do that artwork. Then we've got the Amazing Places Riccarton event, and the combining with the Connect event. So that's when people are coming into the area for the academic year to learn, and we have programs in place to actually make them feel like they're part of the community and give the community the opportunity to join with the students. And our next one is partnerships with community organisations, and the staff are working with the Templeton Residents Association to help them with the submissions should Fulton Hogan lodge a resource consent application to quarry within 500 metres of the Templeton Township. So we're very pleased about that. Also working with the Aldhurst Rural Residents Association to get a feasibility study for the future of the Aldhurst Memorial Hall, and you know that's been around for a while. But one of the things that we've got to consider with the halls, and I'll get to the Upper Riccarton War Memorial Library as well shortly, is the building is the memorial, and that's one of the things that it is difficult. It is difficult to actually recognise the fact that it's the building itself that is the memorial in these cases. So moving on then to the Riccarton Community Centre, that's concept designs all done and feedback. I think we're just waiting for the contract to be let, aren't we, Gary? So we can't wait for that to start happening. Infrastructure, the installation of play equipment on Picton Reserve is we've got here. The demographics have changed in this area over the period of years, so the community decided that they wanted to change some of the play equipment to meet a different age range of users. So our community board quite happily supported their wishes, and that playground equipment has been installed. The other issue that we've got is over the Denton Park reclassification process. about 50 people from the community gathered at the rugby club with the view of forming or reactivating a Hornby Residents Association. And that's what tends to happen. Residents associations drift along, and then when an issue comes up, they go and form a group and unite, and so they can have an official voice. So we actually welcome the formation of residents associations generally across our wards. So that's happening. And the Upper Riccarton War Memorial has been closed down because it doesn't meet the earthquake repairs. But what we've done is we've got a shipping container in there now, behind the Memorial Hall, and organising for the books and the memorial plaques have gone now. They're at Ranadale in the meantime for this year's Anzac service on the 25th of next month. Or is it this month? This month. So we've been working with that library committee to get the issues resolved. Connect, I already mentioned about the Connect thing really, event, which was attended by over 200 people at the Harrington Park on Saturday the 3rd of March. Moving on then to Culture Galore, and it, as mentioned by David, it was a joint event with the two community boards, and what a wonderful, wonderful day. Absolutely amazing. It's been running for 16 years now. It's been rained off once. But it's just so colourful and so amazing. So just urge people next year when we have our Culture Galore, please come along and enjoy the feeling, and it's just absolutely amazing. You couldn't wish for a better event, and I must take my hat off to staff for organising not only this event but others that I'll be touching on during our presentation, and to say that these events just run like a well-oiled machine. There's a lot of work goes into these things that's not noticed until people get there on the day and think, what a wonderful event. But my goodness me, there's a lot of work done by staff, and they're really professional at it, aren't they, Mr. Watson?
They certainly are.
Really, really good.
Absolutely.
So congratulations to staff, and just like to mention dear our late Ishwar Gander, who was very much part of the formation of this Culture Galore organisation 16 years ago. And the Halswell Quarry Green Flag Award. Now this is something that I don't know why it never got on the front page of the paper. It's quite amazing that the Halswell Quarry has got the Green Flag Award for being an outstanding park.
Only park in Canterbury.
And sorry?
It's the only park in Canterbury.
The only park in Canterbury that's got that award. And I can recall hearing on the radio back in the day with dear old Councillor Ron Wright saying he fired the last shot blasting at the quarry, and what it was going to turn out like, what the vision for the council of the day was for this site, and it's a reality. And to think now that it's got that very, very significant Green Flag Award is congratulations to the councils following, and to the rangers and the community that have made it such a very, very special place. And our Community Pride Garden Awards, these are another events that make me feel really, really good about our community and the work that they do and the enjoyment they get in coming together to receive their awards. And I'd also like to acknowledge the sponsors that have given prizes out. What we did was we had a sort of a raffle. We gave people tickets, and then we drew numbers out, and people then came up and took their pick of a range of lovely prizes that were presented by different community groups and organisations. So where are we now, Gary? Community Pride Garden Awards.
Two interests.
And the other matters of interest, the community board continues to be contacted about quarrying issues in the Aldhurst, Templeton areas, and its interest in these important local matters is ongoing. And it is something that is not going to go away, but it is something that I think as a city we need to be very, very conscious of, is the effects of quarrying and the environment around quarries. It's the people's ability to be able to live safely around quarry areas and continue with a quality of life. And also the maintenance across the wards in relation to our parks and road areas and tidiness. And I did receive a call from Councillor Johansson just last week, I think, saying what messy entrances we have into our city from the south, and it does need to be tidied up. So it is a work in progress. And the other thing is our this month's hyper helpful random facts goes back to the Halswell quarry. And you can see, if we look out the windows of this building, actually we can see some of that quarry stone around the Arts Centre and the old provincial chambers, all of those places. And it was the Dean's brothers actually noticed that quarry area and the rock there when they were going to backwards and forwards to Akaroa to get mail and to post their mail from Akaroa back in the day. And they stumbled across that and thought, so when the Canterbury settlers were starting to build Christchurch, they said, well, we know where there's some real good rock, and that's where it came back in the 1860s. So is there any questions? Jimmy?
Well done, you know. Only the minor question. I remember in community board meeting, I particularly point out one of the key event missed out here, Hello Hornby.
Hello Hornby?
Yeah.
Thank you, Jimmy.
Here.
Thank you.
Last time you mentioned you would like to put on
Yep.
this report.
Well, I can do that. I can do that, can't I, Mr.?
There were 1,200 people.
1,200 people?
Yeah.
So the problem with it not being in this report is the timing for the report to get to council. So the event hadn't happened when the report needed to be in. So we will put it in next month.
Yeah. Okay,
but it's a timing issue we struggle with.
Okay, thank you.
So that's something to look forward to in a month's time,
I'm happy to move. I'm happy to move.
Sorry, are there any other questions, Aaron?
I noted your yellow sign behind you, Mike, on the chair, the no quarry sign. Just a wee tip on that for marketing. No quarry, no worry.
No quarry, no worry. Okay, thank you.
Use that.
Thank you. It's not. I'm not running a campaign, but that's I just brought that in today to show the councillors. Okay. Thank you. Never miss an opportunity, councillor.
I'm just in the process of hitting send on an email, but I just thought that I would read it to you as part of this meeting. Dear Mike, this email is to confirm that the Community Board has delegation to submit on resource consent applications to other territorial authorities, or ECAN, where the application is of particular concern to the local community. This is outlined in the delegation register, and I've included the relevant section for you. At the Templeton Residents Association meeting on the 26th of March, the community expressed a high degree of comfort and confidence in the delegation for the submission sitting with your community board. The council will provide you with the resources required to submit on the application. As a council, we can then consider endorsing your submission as a separate process. So I just wanted to say publicly that the delegation sits with your community board, but we will back you all the way.
Thank you very much, and we're up to doing the job as long as we got the tools in the toolbox.
Yeah. and that's what we will help provide you with. But I've also spent quite a bit of time explaining to people the difference between the council as an organisation and the council as a governance body, which is what we are, and staff who appear at resource consent hearings who do so because of their expertise, which is independently provided and cannot advocate for the council's position. So it's been quite a useful process from my point of view to actually go through the legislative framework. There's actually a code of practice that anyone giving expert evidence in the Environment Court and apropos that the consent hearing itself, when they give evidence, they actually have to say that they have accepted the code of practice as an expert witness, and they are not allowed to advocate for the position of whoever's paying their bill, whether it's they're an independent contractor to a quarrying company or whether they are an employee of the council. They cannot advocate a position. They can only present expert evidence. So I think that clarification is quite useful if people understand that when a council employee gives evidence, expert evidence, in the Environment Court or in front of a resource consent hearing, they are not representing the council, they are representing their personal professional expertise.
Thank you.
Can I just clarify then? Because I'm quite keen that we make very strong representations about this quarry. Can the community, is the community board bound by the same rules?
No.
So it can actually be more flexible in the experts it chooses to use?
No. They can, when you go experts, it makes it sound like you're talking about people that aren't experts. They actually have to state what their qualification is and what expertise they are relying on in order to provide evidence. So there's a standard format to the presentation. But we do not necessarily believe, as well, the advice I've had from staff is that there may not be sufficient expertise within the council to provide evidence on this matter, and it may well be that we have to look outside the organisation to find that expertise.
We can find that appropriate expertise outside of this organisation.
Yes.
Excellent. Thank you.
Does 25 years of dealing with quarry issues make me an expert, Leon?
No.
No.
Sorry. I was a member of Parliament for 23 years. That doesn't make me an expert in anything. Sorry. Anyway, but so that's, I've now sent you that email. So the delegation sits with the community board. I know that the community board had a discussion about that the other night, which you haven't referred to. Please have a further discussion based on my email once they actually see the delegation written there, and the fact that we then come in behind in support. I think that will be fine. But if there is an issue with it, then please feel free to come back. But I would be really reluctant to propose that we in any way interfere with the delegation. I think the message I got from the Residents Association was a very, very high level of confidence in their relationship with the community board. Right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. So Jimmy Chen has moved it, and it has been seconded by Vicky Buck, and I'll put that motion. All those in favour say aye. Those opposed say no. That's carried. Thanks very much, Mike.